Yeah. Speaking of convenience, I guess.
Speaking of the beast system.
It's so convenient
Nice try.
that the BBC is reporting that the national emblem, India, rejects criticism over snarling lion statue.
Rejects criticism is pretty funny.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we reject criticism pretty easily nowadays.
Yeah, we do.
So I get it, India. I get it.
All right, let me just read this a little bit here and then you can chime in here. The Indian government has defended the look of the national emblem on top of the new parliament building amid criticism over its appearance. The new statue, adapted from an ancient Indian sculpture, was unveiled by Prime Minister Narendra Modi on Monday. The 6.5 meter, that's 21 feet, 3 inches tall, cast shows 4 Asiatic lions mounted back to back on a circular disc. Ah, there you go, circular disc there for the flat earthers. Critics say the new lions look ferocious and stray from the original depictions. Opposition leaders have also criticized the government, saying that the new avatar of the emblem, adapted from the lion capital of Ashoka, a sculpture that was atop one of the several pillars erected by Emperor Ashoka during his reign in 250 BC, was a, quote, brazen insult to India's national symbol, end quote. But a federal government minister on Tuesday dismissed the criticism, saying the statue was a, quote, perfect replica of the original, quote, except for the size. Quote, sense of proportion and perspective. This is a quote. I don't know, maybe there's something lost in translation. Quote, sense of proportion and perspective. Beauty is famously regarded as lying in the eyes of the beholder. So is the case with calm and anger. The original Sarnath emblem is 1.6 meters high, whereas the emblem on top of the new Parliament building is huge at 6.5 meters. Hardeep Singh Puri wrote on Twitter, posting photos comparing the original emblem and the new statue. The minister added that if an exact replica of the original were to be placed on the new building, quote, it would barely be visible beyond the peripheral rail.
What is this, an emblem for ants?
It's so tiny.
It's so tiny.
But I love this. The actual tweet from Hardeep Singh Puri. Here's what it says. If an exact replica of the original were to be placed on the new building, it would barely be visible beyond the peripheral rail. The experts should also know that the original placed in Sarnath is at ground level, while the new emblem is at a height of 33 meters from the ground.
Oh, really? Weird. Why would they choose such a specific...
I don't know.
33 meters, huh?
Yes,
really
sorry.
high.
I keep hitting the bell because the number just keeps popping up. I'm sure it's just a coincidence. I don't think there's any significance whatsoever to the fact that the number 33 keeps popping up a lot recently. Let's see.
Recently.
Sunil,
just like the past few thousand years of humanity.
Sure. Yeah, a third of the stars got struck down, the whole deal. Sunil Diora, one of the 2 sculptors behind the statue, said that the perceived difference in the lion's demeanor was because of the, quote, scale and dimension of the new emblem. Quote, if you look at the Sarnath, and then they get into some more
No, it is pretty funny,
arguments.
though, because the criticism that they have is not that it's too big. No, nobody's like, these lions are too big.
Right.
Yeah, well, we had to make them big because they're on a building. You know, they're not answering the questions that are being lobbed at them. The problem that they have is that the lions are too scary looking.
Yeah, they got the teeth showing. The mouth open.
And it's so funny because Modi is sort of commonly known as the Trump of India. He's a very Trumpian figure. Yeah. So if you look at the original Ashoka lions, they're actually very friendly. They're very cute. They kind of look like cute kittens. They've got big chubby cheeks.
Are these similar to the lions from like China that hold the the ball, like under the hand,
Similar,
like under one of the paws.
yeah,
I forget
similar.
what they're called.
They've got
The
the pictures
Guardians.
of them there in that article.
Mhm.
You can scroll down, and they kind of make the comparison. You can see them.
Yeah.
Like the original ones are all cute and happy. They're happy lions, and the new ones are like kind of these mean, snarling, toothy
Trump
lions.
lions.
Yeah, they're and exactly. Isn't it funny? If Trump was like, let's put some lions on the White House. Yeah,
Make 'em
sure.
gold.
These happy, cute lions are
Gold
very
lions.
important to us.
With my hair.
But
Beautiful
give
hair.
me some very. I can't do a Trump impression, but he would make them mean and bigger and bigger and mean. So it's
Most
very
powerful
sort of Trumpian.
lions, the best lions.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Now, I didn't know that there was 4 of these lions. Turns out it's hard to take a picture of these lions and getting all 4 of
You
them.
had a whole thing built on a
I had a whole
3-headed
thing.
lion.
I thought there was 3 of them. And so my entire thing for this is destroyed.
Well, you can.
Because I was going into the 3-headed goddess, the 3-headed deity thing, which is a whole thing in occultism and paganism and neo-paganism. A lot of very interesting deep dives into the 3-faced goddess. But this is 4 and it has nothing to do with what I was going to do. So
Well,
it's going to be a short segment.
You could ask
but
Replica for some advice. I will say this,
Yeah.
a little, if there is something to try to save you, the 4 facing, I'm sure it's got something to do with the directions in north, south, east, west, but also the biblical description of the not the beast, like the bad beast, but the beasts that are worshiping God in Revelation. They have 4 faces, don't they? I'm trying to figure it out.
But wasn't it one of the...
It's one of each. It's not, it's not like all 4 lion heads.
Mm-hmm. There's a lion, a bird,
it's a
serpent,
leopard, lion, and
a leopard.
Bear are the 3 animals.
Oh,
being
it is
described.
3.
Mhm. Well, that's the 3 being described. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm talking about, this is a different beast. Hold on. I'm trying to pull it up here. Internet's slow and wife is texting me from very, very far away.
No,
So I
this
got
is
a couple
good. This
things
is
going
giving me a chance to scramble and read some Wikipedia pages to try to find something else to talk about here. Because this is interesting. People love these little guys, these little cute lions.
on. Yeah. Hold on. Let me see here.
Okay, everybody just take a
chill
little
out
nap.
for a second.
Just
Yeah.
take a little dead air nap, everybody.
So Ezekiel, that's what it was. In Ezekiel, there was the vision. In the vision, there was the 4 faces, the human being, and then there was the face of one was the face of a cherub, one was a human being, one was a lion, and one was, where's the other one here? Is it eagle? Yeah, face of an eagle. Wait, hold on. Human face, lion face,
Oh, that's
ox
what it
face,
was.
and eagle face. That's what it was.
Got it. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Much better than my random assortment of creatures that I named.
Basil in the mark of the Basil book. It's an emu. It's a
an emu,
propaganda
a
rooster.
chicken,
a lot of birds. Chicken.
A cat, a rooster, an emu, and a guy with a human, but with googly eyes.
Sure. All right.
Yeah.
Well, so
I need to do more research. All my research is destroyed for this thing.
Okay. Well,
Dang.
let me just tell everybody how racist I am by bringing up this next story, which is part of. I guess it flows kind of, but it's in our milieu because we talk about it all the time. And I'm stalling briefly because I'm trying to find a jingle for it, which is for CRISPR, which everyone loves the crisp jingle. If I can.
You can't take the crisp.
CRISPR. You're supposed to do it one more time.
This whole section got screwed up.
Yeah, got a little messed up here.
All
well,
right.
anyway, I can't find the jingle. Where did it go? That's a jingle that's
You
usually
probably
close
named
by.
it file 746L__.
Oh yeah, you're right. There it is.
CRISPR. Cas9.
Let me tell you how racist I am. Okay,
Okay.
I'm racist. This is Boston Globe, mirrored by MSN.com, and the headline here is Boston Biotech Verve tests CRISPR 2.0 in a patient for the first time. Published by Ryan Cross at 3:30 a.m.
Whoa.
We don't plan these things, folks. It just happens.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and it says here, scientists are rewriting the code of life with a new technology that promises to cure inherited diseases by precisely correcting genetic typos. What did we talk about earlier, Basil?
Yeah, it just occurred to me. You've got the network state recoding the Leviathan, and you've got CRISPR and biotech recoding the behemoth.
Yep.
Oh, yeah, there it is.
Known as base editing, the technology empowers researchers to pick a single letter amongst the 3 billion that compose the human genome, erase it, and write a new letter in its place. Base editing is an updated version of the gene editing tool CRISPR, which has revolutionized life sciences research and is making strides in treating genetic blood and liver disease. But some scientists think base editing, sometimes billed as CRISPR 2.0, could be safer and more precise than the original. And
That's
this
what they
summer,
always say.
well, it's based, Basil. And this summer, the sequel technology is being used in patients for the first time. On Tuesday, Boston biotech Verve Therapeutics announced it had edited the DNA of a person with a genetic condition that causes high cholesterol and predisposes them to heart disease, the #1 killer in America. The base editor is designed to tweak a gene in the liver, curtail the accumulation of cholesterol, and hopefully lower the risk of heart attacks. Verve chief executive and co-founder Sekar Kathirasan likens the approach to, quote, surgery without a scalpel. Now, here's where I'm racist, Basil.
Mm-hmm.
In my little, we do the show notes. We put together the episode flow and the list of stories and everything else. And I had labeled this section Beast System and then /India. And under it has the story about the national emblem and the ferocious lion statues that we just covered. And then I had this CRISPR story. And as we were kind of reviewing it, I'm like, why did I even put this story under India? And I was like, oh, you know what it was? It was the CEO of this company.
You just heard the Indian name. And you're like, surely this is happening in India.
Kathirasan. And I'm like, oh yeah, India. Yeah,
that's
CRISPR 2.0 India. I'm so racist. I'm
especially
so sorry.
as an Asian,
Asiatic descent.
Yeah, in America.
Which I guess that did surprise me. I remember when I found out that India was considered Asian. Mm-hmm. I was like, really?
Yeah.
I mean, we're all. I mean, we don't look white, I suppose, but I mean, I don't think I look Indian.
Yeah, but it is an interesting little middle point there.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, racist ninjas.
I can literally not find anything interesting about these lions.
I'm glad you're trying, though.
I am trying because my hard whole thing, to pull something out for the show. My thing with the 3-headed lion was like, oh, maybe, connection with the CRISPR is, they're trying to create that third strand of DNA. See, the Indian CRISPR 2.0 is actually 3-stranded. But that all falls apart with you. We are tricked.
Yeah.
Well, I'll have to find some other reason to talk about the 3-faced goddess.
Let me read a little more from this article because it's got some interesting quotes in here. It quotes David Liu at the Board Institute of MIT and Harvard. And he says here, quote, "We really need ways to correct genes, not just disrupt them," said Liu. And that's where base editing comes in. Liu's base editors are modified versions of CRISPR that act like molecular erasers and pencils, swapping one of the 4 bases for letters. We already talked about that. These 2 base editors could correct about 60% of all single letter typos that cause rare genetic diseases. Yet that's not what scientists are doing first. The 3 clinical trials of the technology starting this year will use base editors to intentionally create typos.
Oh.
The potential power of that strategy is clear in Verve's clinical trial. Scientists have discovered multiple genes that raise cholesterol and increase the risk of heart attacks. People with genetic mutations in one of these genes called PCSK9 have extremely low levels of LDL cholesterol, often called bad cholesterol, and are remarkably protected against heart attack. Kathirasan said, quote, "Our idea was to develop a gene editing machine that would mimic the natural situation." And it goes on and on and on. This is kind of a longer article here. Verve's therapy is an infusion that edits DNA directly in patients. reinforces that point multiple times and brings up Jennifer Doudna, the inventor or co-inventor of CRISPR. Liu hopes the 3 clinical trials of base editors this year are just the start of many more to come. Quote, "It still sounds like science fiction that you can go into a patient and make a precise change in the sequence of their genome at a position that would otherwise destine them to suffer from a grievous genetic disease," Liu said. Quote, "To be able to take control of our genomes, to me, is one of the most human things we can do."
Whoa.
Yeah.
I mean, in a certain way, he's not wrong.
Well, in the context of a secular worldview, yeah, of course.
Well, even in a spiritual worldview, it is one of the most human things we could do, which is try to wrench control from God's design and replace it with what we think is better for us than trusting the Father. That is a very human thing to do.
Everything's an algorithm. We just got to figure out the equation.
The Leviathan, man.
You just reprogram and change a letter here or there, and boom, new species.
Yeah,
beast species.